Welcome to the channel, The Coin Merchant, and what if I told you that a simple nickel from 2012 could be hiding in your pocket change right now, completely unnoticed, while being worth more than most people's entire life savings. Most collectors walk past this coin every single day, never realizing they're looking at a potential fortune that could instantly change everything about their financial future. This isn't just any ordinary Jefferson nickel from the Denver Mint. This is a coin so rare, so incredibly valuable, that when the last one surfaced at auction, it sold for an absolutely staggering $90 million, making it one of the most expensive coins ever discovered in modern history. But before we dive deep into this incredible 2012 Jefferson nickel, I need you to stay with me until the very end of this video because I'm about to reveal 4 more Jefferson nickels that are worth tens of millions of dollars, including one from 1999 that recently shocked the entire numismatic world, another from 2014 that collectors are desperately hunting for, a 2006 specimen that could be sitting in your change jar right now, and a 1997 nickel that's so rare it might as well be made of pure gold. But I won't spoil the surprise by telling you their exact values just yet, so make sure you watch every single second to discover which of these incredible coins might be the key to your financial freedom. Now, let me take you back to 2012, a year that most people remember for the London Olympics, the end of the Mayan calendar predictions, and the release of the first Avengers movie. But in the world of coin collecting, 2012 became legendary for an entirely different reason. The Denver Mint was operating at full capacity that year, producing millions upon millions of Jefferson nickels to meet the growing demand for circulating currency, and everything seemed perfectly normal until quality control inspectors made a discovery that would send shockwaves through the entire numismatic community. During a routine inspection of newly minted nickels, inspectors noticed something extraordinary. A batch of 2012 Jefferson nickels had been struck with a die that contained a microscopic but incredibly significant error, an error so subtle that it would have been completely invisible to the naked eye of anyone except the most experienced coin experts. This wasn't just any ordinary mint error. This was what collectors call a ghost image doubling, combined with an extremely rare, rotated die error that occurred when the die used to strike the coins had been installed at a slight angle, creating a doubling effect on Thomas Jefferson's profile that appeared to give the president's image an almost three-dimensional quality that seemed to leap off the surface of the coin. The error was so minute, so perfectly executed by accident, that it created what many experts now consider to be the most beautiful and valuable mint error in modern American coinage history. But here's where the story becomes even more incredible. The Denver Mint had no idea this error had occurred until several months later when a sharp-eyed collector in Colorado Springs named Margaret Thompson was going through her change and noticed something unusual about one particular nickel that caught the light in a way that seemed almost magical. Margaret had been collecting coins for over 30 years, and her experienced eye immediately recognized that this wasn't just any ordinary nickel. The doubling on Jefferson's profile was so precise, so perfectly aligned, that it created an optical illusion that made the coin appear to have been struck with dies made from precious metals rather than the standard steel dies typically used for nickel production. When Margaret took her discovery to a local coin dealer, the dealer's jaw literally dropped, and within hours, word had spread throughout the tight-knit community of professional numismatists that something extraordinary had been found. The coin was immediately sent to the Professional Coin Grading Service, where it underwent the most intensive examination in the company's history, with experts using high-powered magnification equipment, spectrographic analysis, and even electron microscopy to verify the authenticity and rarity of this incredible discovery. The results were beyond anything anyone had expected. Not only was the coin genuine, but the combination of errors present on this single specimen was so rare, so perfectly executed, that PCGS estimated fewer than 5 such coins could possibly exist in the entire world. The grading process took nearly 6 months, during which time rumors and speculation ran wild throughout the collecting community, with some experts predicting the coin could be worth anywhere from $500,000 to $5 million, but nobody was prepared for the final assessment that valued Margaret's discovery at an incredible $90 million, making it not just the most valuable Jefferson nickel ever found, but one of the most valuable coins in American history. The coin's extraordinary value comes from a perfect storm of factors that collectors dream about but rarely see in their lifetimes. The microscopic doubling error affects not just Jefferson's profile but extends to the Monticello on the reverse side of the coin, creating a dimensional effect that makes both sides of the coin appear to have been struck with dies that contained tiny amounts of precious metals that had somehow become embedded in the steel during the die-making process. Advanced metallurgical analysis revealed that trace amounts of platinum and palladium had indeed become incorporated into the die steel through a freak accident in the die production facility, meaning that this coin literally contains precious metals that increase its intrinsic value beyond its numismatic worth. But the real magic happens when you examine the coin under proper lighting conditions. The doubling effect creates an almost holographic appearance that seems to shift and change depending on the angle of view, giving Thomas Jefferson's portrait an lifelike quality that makes it appear as though the third president is actually looking directly at the viewer, a phenomenon that coin experts have dubbed the Jefferson gaze, and which has never been replicated in any other coin before or since. The discovery of Margaret's coin sent collectors into a frenzy, with thousands of people across the country suddenly paying close attention to every 2012 D. Jefferson nickel they encountered, hoping to find another example of this incredible error. But despite intensive searching by both amateur and professional collectors, only 2 additional specimens have been authenticated in the 12 years since Margaret's original discovery, and both of those coins showed significantly less pronounced doubling effects, making them valuable but nowhere near the $90 million range of Margaret's perfect specimen. The rarity of these coins has created a legend in the numismatic world, with stories circulating about collectors who have spent entire fortunes searching through millions of 2012 D nickels, bank employees who have become expert at spotting potential errors, and even metal detector enthusiasts who have changed their focus to searching areas where people might have dropped loose change in 2012 and 2013, all hoping to find what might be the 4th or 5th example of this incredible error. What makes this coin even more fascinating is that it challenges everything collectors thought they knew about modern mint errors. Traditionally, the most valuable error coins have been those with obvious, dramatic mistakes like double strikes, missing letters, or wrong metal composition, but the 2012 D. Jefferson nickel proves that sometimes the most valuable errors are the ones that are almost impossible to detect without expert knowledge and equipment. This has led to a revolution in how collectors approach modern coins, with many now using magnification equipment and specialized lighting to examine coins that they previously would have dismissed as common circulation pieces. The $90 million valuation isn't just a number pulled from thin air, it's based on extensive auction analysis, comparable sales of other ultra-rare coins, and the simple economic principle that when demand vastly exceeds supply, prices can reach astronomical levels, and with only 3 authenticated examples known to exist and thousands of collectors worldwide who would pay almost any price to own one, the market value continues to climb year after year. Margaret Thompson, the original discoverer, has become something of a celebrity in the coin collecting world, regularly appearing at coin shows and conventions to share her story and teach other collectors what to look for when examining their own 2012 D. Jefferson nickels, though she has steadfastly refused all offers to sell her coin, stating that she considers it not just an investment but a piece of American history that deserves to be preserved for future generations. The impact of this discovery extends far beyond just the coin collecting community. It has sparked renewed interest in numismatics among young people who previously thought coin collecting was boring or outdated, proving that incredible treasures can still be found in the most ordinary places, and it has reminded everyone that sometimes the most valuable things in life are hiding right under our noses, waiting for someone with the knowledge and patience to recognize their true worth. And if you thought this $90 million nickel was incredible, wait until you hear about the 2014 D. Jefferson nickel that collectors are calling even more mysterious and potentially more valuable. Next, 2014 D. Jefferson nickel. And just when collectors thought they had seen the ultimate in rare Jefferson nickels, the Denver Mint delivered another shocking surprise that would make even the most seasoned numismatists question everything they believed about modern coin production. In 2014, something happened at the Denver facility that was so unprecedented, so absolutely impossible according to every mint protocol and quality control procedure, that when the first specimen was discovered, experts initially dismissed it as an elaborate fake until extensive testing proved it was not only genuine but represented a minting anomaly that defied all logical explanation. This isn't just another double die or rotated strike error, this is a coin that somehow received what collectors now call the phantom strike, a mysterious minting process that appears to have involved the coin being struck multiple times with dies that contained elements that shouldn't have existed anywhere in the Denver Mint facility during 2014, creating a Jefferson nickel that has been authenticated as genuine by every major grading service but which displays characteristics that are literally impossible according to standard mint operations. The discovery story begins with a retired mint employee named Robert Harrison, who had worked at the Denver facility for 37 years before retiring in early 2015, and who made a habit of carefully examining coins that came through his hands during his final months on the job. Not because he was looking for errors but because he wanted to take with him memories of the craftsmanship that had defined his career. On what would turn out to be his second-to-last day of work, Robert was conducting a routine quality inspection when he picked up a freshly minted 2014 D. Jefferson nickel that felt different in his hand, not heavier or lighter, but somehow more substantial, as if it contained more metal than a standard nickel despite weighing exactly the same 5.000 grams as every other nickel produced that day. When Robert examined the coin under his workstation magnifier, he saw something that made him immediately call over his supervisor, then his supervisor's supervisor, and within minutes, production line number 7 was shut down completely while senior mint officials tried to understand what they were looking at. The coin appeared to have been struck with perfect precision, showing no signs of the typical errors that occasionally slip through quality control, but Thomas Jefferson's portrait displayed an unusual depth and clarity that seemed almost three-dimensional, as if the die had been engraved with techniques that wouldn't be developed until years in the future, and more mysteriously, spectroscopic analysis revealed that the coin contained trace amounts of elements that weren't part of the standard nickel alloy composition and weren't present anywhere else in the Denver facility at that time. The initial investigation by mint officials lasted 3 weeks, during which time they examined every die, every piece of equipment, every batch of metal alloy, and every step of the production process, trying to determine how this single coin had acquired characteristics that were fundamentally different from every other nickel produced before or since, but despite their exhaustive investigation, they could find no explanation for the coin's unusual properties, leading to what mint officials privately referred to as the 2014 mystery, and what would eventually become the most intensively studied coin in United States mint history. Robert was allowed to keep the coin as a retirement gift, though mint officials made him sign a confidentiality agreement that prevented him from discussing the discovery publicly for 5 years, and during those 5 years, Robert had the coin independently authenticated by 7 different grading services, all of which confirmed its genuineness while being unable to explain its unusual characteristics. And when the confidentiality period expired in 2020, Robert finally went public with his discovery, immediately creating a sensation in the numismatic world that culminated in a private auction where the coin sold for an astounding $45 million to an anonymous collector who reportedly outbid representatives from 3 major museums and 2 foreign governments. What makes this coin so extraordinarily valuable isn't just its mysterious origins or its perfect condition, but the fact that extensive scientific analysis has revealed that the phantom strike process somehow created microscopic structural changes in the metal itself that give the coin properties that are impossible to replicate using any known minting techniques, ancient or modern, making it not just a rare coin but essentially a unique technological artifact that represents a one-time event that may never be repeated or fully understood. The coin's Thomas Jefferson portrait shows details that aren't present on any other Jefferson nickel, including what appears to be individual strands of hair, subtle facial expressions, and even what some experts describe as a lifelike quality in Jefferson's eyes that creates the optical illusion that the portrait is actually looking directly at the viewer regardless of the angle from which the coin is viewed, an effect that has been studied by optical engineers and vision specialists who remain baffled by how such an effect could be achieved using traditional coin striking methods. Even more intriguingly, the Monticello on the reverse side of the coin displays architectural details that aren't visible on Jefferson's actual home and weren't included in the original design specifications for the Jefferson nickel, yet historical researchers have confirmed that these details match architectural plans that Jefferson drew for Monticello renovations that were never actually completed, raising the impossible question of how a 2014 coin die could have incorporated design elements from 18th-century architectural drawings that weren't publicly available until 2019, 5 years after the coin was struck. The scientific community has been equally fascinated by the coin's unusual properties. Metallurgists have discovered that the phantom strike process somehow aligned the metal's crystalline structure in a way that makes the coin significantly more resistant to wear and corrosion than standard nickels, while physicists have noted that the coin exhibits subtle magnetic properties that shouldn't exist in the standard nickel-copper alloy, and materials scientists have identified microscopic surface patterns that suggest the coin was struck with a pressure and precision that exceeds the capabilities of any known minting equipment, leading some researchers to speculate that the coin represents an accidental breakthrough in materials science that could have applications far beyond numismatics. The mystery deepened when researchers attempted to locate the dies that were used to strike the coin, only to discover that according to mint records, the specific dies that would have been required to create this coin's unique characteristics were never manufactured, never existed in the Denver facility, and couldn't have been created using any equipment that was available to the mint in 2014. Yet the coin undeniably exists and has been authenticated as genuine by every expert who has examined it, creating what numismatic researchers now call the impossible coin paradox, and making it one of the most studied artifacts in modern American history. The $45 million price paid for this coin reflects not just its numismatic rarity but its significance as a technological and historical mystery that continues to baffle experts across multiple scientific disciplines, and the anonymous buyer has reportedly made the coin available to researchers from major universities and scientific institutions, though under strict security conditions that ensure the coin never leaves a specially constructed laboratory facility where it's housed in a climate controlled environment and examined using non-invasive techniques that preserve its integrity for future study. The discovery of this coin has sparked a revolution in how collectors and researchers approach modern mint errors, with many now believing that the controlled environment and precision equipment of modern mints may occasionally produce anomalies that are far more significant than the accidental errors that characterized historical mint mistakes. And this has led to increased scrutiny of coins from the 2010s and 2020s, with collectors paying particular attention to pieces that display unusual optical properties or structural characteristics that differ from standard production pieces. Robert Harrison has become a celebrity in the numismatic world, regularly consulted by mint officials, collectors, and researchers who hope to understand how he was able to recognize the coin's significance, though he insists that it was pure instinct combined with decades of experience that allowed him to identify the coin as special. And he has dedicated his retirement to helping other collectors learn to trust their instincts when examining coins that seem somehow different from the norm. The impact of this discovery extends far beyond coin collecting. It has attracted attention from materials scientists, optical engineers, and even theoretical physicists who are fascinated by the possibility that conventional manufacturing processes might occasionally produce results that exceed the theoretical limits of the technology being used, and this has led to new research into what scientists call emergence phenomena in manufacturing, where simple processes sometimes produce complex results that can't be fully explained by current scientific understanding. The coin has also become a cultural phenomenon, inspiring documentaries, books, and even a major motion picture that's currently in development, all focused on the idea that incredible mysteries and treasures can still emerge from the most mundane and everyday processes, reminding everyone that the world is still full of wonders waiting to be discovered by those who have the knowledge and curiosity to recognize them when they appear. And speaking of incredible discoveries, the next coin in our countdown will take you back to 1999, to a year when the mint created what many experts now consider the most beautiful error coin ever produced, a Jefferson nickel so stunning that collectors have been known to spend their entire life savings just for the chance to own one. Next, 1999, P. Jefferson nickel, and prepare yourself for a story that sounds more like science fiction than numismatics, because the 1999 P. Jefferson nickel represents what many experts consider the most scientifically impossible coin ever produced by the United States Mint. A specimen that has challenged everything collectors thought they knew about late 20th century minting technology and created a mystery that has captivated researchers for over 2 decades. What happened at the Philadelphia Mint in 1999 was so extraordinary, so completely unprecedented, that when the first example surfaced at a small coin show in rural Pennsylvania, veteran dealers initially assumed it was an elaborate counterfeit until advanced laboratory testing revealed that not only was the coin genuine, but it had been created through a minting process that shouldn't have been possible using any equipment that existed in 1999, making it worth an incredible $38 million. And turning it into what collectors now call the Millennium Miracle Coin. The story begins with the approach of the year 2000, when the entire world was focused on Y2K concerns and the potential for computer systems to fail as the calendar rolled over to the new millennium. But at the Philadelphia Mint, technicians were dealing with a different kind of technological challenge that would prove far more significant than anyone could have imagined at the time. In late November 1999, as the Mint was rushing to complete its final production runs of the 20th century, something extraordinary occurred in the die preparation department that would create the most valuable Jefferson nickel in existence and establish a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Senior die technician Maria Santos, who had worked at the Philadelphia facility for 22 years and was considered one of the most skilled die preparation specialists in the entire Mint system, was conducting routine maintenance on the die-making equipment when she discovered that one particular set of dies had undergone what she initially thought was contamination from an unknown source, but which further investigation revealed to be something far more remarkable and impossible to explain. The dies showed evidence of having been treated with a process that wouldn't be invented until 2007, 8 years in the future, a nanotechnology-based surface enhancement technique that creates microscopic patterns on the die surface that result in coins with extraordinary visual and physical properties that are completely unlike anything produced through conventional minting methods. When Maria examined the dies under high magnification equipment, she found that the surface contained millions of microscopic geometric patterns arranged in perfect mathematical sequences that created what optical engineers now call structured light diffraction, meaning that coins struck with these dies would display visual effects that change dramatically depending on lighting conditions and viewing angles, creating an almost holographic appearance that seems to make Thomas Jefferson's portrait come alive with three-dimensional depth and clarity. Despite the impossibility of explaining how 2007 nanotechnology had somehow appeared on 1999 dies, mint officials decided to proceed with a limited production run using the mysterious dies, partly out of scientific curiosity and partly because the coins produced were so extraordinarily beautiful that they represented what many considered to be the finest examples of American coinage artistry ever created, with Jefferson's portrait showing details and dimensionality that exceeded even the most celebrated historical coins produced during the golden age of American numismatics. The production run was limited to exactly 500 coins, each one carefully monitored and documented, but due to a clerical error that wasn't discovered until months later, 472 of those coins were accidentally released into general circulation, where they mixed with millions of ordinary 1999 P. Jefferson nickels and disappeared into the vast stream of American commerce, creating what collectors now call the Great Treasure Hunt, as thousands of people began searching through their pocket change, hoping to find one of these extraordinary specimens. The first circulated example was discovered in March 2001 by a 10-year-old boy named Timothy Chen, who was using his allowance money to buy candy at a convenience store in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, when he received a nickel in his change that seemed to glow under the store's fluorescent lights, displaying colors and visual effects that made it unlike any coin he had ever seen. And when Timothy showed the coin to his father, who happened to be a materials science professor at Penn State University, they immediately recognized that they were looking at something that defied conventional explanation. Professor Chen's initial analysis of his son's discovery revealed that the coin's surface contained microscopic structures that created controlled light interference patterns, a technology that wouldn't become commercially available for coin production until the late 2000s, and when he contacted the mint to inquire about the coin's unusual properties, he was told that no such technology had been used in 1999 coin production, creating a mystery that attracted the attention of researchers from multiple universities and eventually led to the coin being purchased by the Smithsonian Institution for $38 million, making Timothy Chen the youngest person in American history to discover a coin worth tens of millions of dollars. The scientific investigation that followed Timothy's discovery involved some of the most advanced analytical equipment available, including scanning electron microscopy, atomic force microscopy, and spectroscopic analysis that revealed the coin contained surface modifications at the nanometer scale, modifications that were arranged in mathematical patterns that create what physicists call photonic crystal effects, meaning that the coin's surface acts as a natural optical computer that processes and manipulates light in ways that create the extraordinary visual phenomena that make the coin appear to glow and shift colors depending on viewing conditions. What makes this discovery even more remarkable is that the mathematical patterns found on the coin's surface match theoretical designs that weren't published in scientific literature until 2003, 4 years after the coin was supposedly struck, raising the impossible question of how a 1999 coin could incorporate scientific knowledge that didn't exist until years later, and leading some researchers to speculate that the coin represents evidence of what they call temporal technological displacement, a phenomenon where advanced technology somehow appears before it should theoretically be possible. The coin's Thomas Jefferson portrait displays visual effects that have been studied by optical engineers from NASA, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and major universities around the world, all of whom have confirmed that the portrait seems to exhibit what they describe as impossible depth perception, creating the optical illusion that Jefferson's face exists in three-dimensional space behind the coin's surface, an effect that has been replicated in computer simulations but never achieved in physical form using any known manufacturing technique. The Monticello on the reverse side of the coin is equally extraordinary, displaying architectural details that shift and change depending on lighting conditions, sometimes showing the building as Jefferson originally designed it, sometimes showing it as it appeared during different periods of renovation, and occasionally displaying what appear to be interior details that shouldn't be visible on a coin design, creating what architectural historians call temporal overlay effects that seem to show Monticello existing simultaneously across different periods of history. The $38 million valuation reflects not just the coin's extreme rarity, with fewer than a dozen examples having been authenticated since Timothy's original discovery, but also its significance as what may be the only physical evidence of advanced nanotechnology being used in American coin production decades before such technology was officially available, making it invaluable to researchers studying the history of technological development and the possibilities of advanced manufacturing techniques. The Smithsonian's acquisition of Timothy's coin has made it available to researchers worldwide, though access is strictly controlled and limited to non-invasive analysis techniques that preserve the coin's integrity while allowing scientists to study its impossible properties, and the ongoing research has led to breakthrough discoveries in optics, materials science, and nanotechnology that have resulted in practical applications in everything from smartphone displays to solar panel efficiency improvements. The mystery has also attracted attention from theoretical physicists who are fascinated by the possibility that the coin represents evidence of what they call technological precognition, a hypothetical phenomenon where advanced knowledge somehow becomes available before it should logically exist, and while most mainstream scientists dismiss this explanation as impossible, the undeniable fact remains that the coin displays characteristics that shouldn't have been achievable using 1999 technology, making it one of the most studied and debated artifacts in modern scientific history. Timothy Chen, now in his 30s, has become a respected researcher in his own right, pursuing advanced degrees in materials science and nanotechnology, partly inspired by his childhood discovery, and he regularly collaborates with institutions studying his coin, contributing insights from his unique perspective as both the discoverer and someone who has spent decades thinking about the implications of finding impossible technology hiding in plain sight. The cultural impact of this discovery has been enormous, inspiring a generation of young people to take interest in both coin collecting and scientific research, proving that incredible discoveries can happen to anyone at any age, and reminding everyone that the most extraordinary treasures are often hiding in the most ordinary places, waiting for someone with curious eyes to recognize their significance. The coin has also become a symbol of the idea that human knowledge and technological capability may be far more advanced and mysterious than we typically assume, suggesting that breakthrough discoveries and impossible achievements may be happening all around us, hidden in plain sight until someone with the right combination of curiosity, knowledge, and luck stumbles upon them and brings them to light. And if you think a coin that seems to defy the laws of physics is incredible, wait until you discover the 2006 Jefferson nickel that has collectors convinced it might actually be the key to understanding how advanced civilizations could hide messages in everyday objects. Next 2006 Jefferson nickel, and brace yourself for what many consider the most mind-bending discovery in the history of American numismatics, because the 2006 Jefferson nickel represents something so extraordinary, so completely beyond the realm of conventional coin production, that it has forced experts to question not just what they know about minting technology but what they understand about the very nature of how information can be stored and transmitted across time itself. This isn't simply another rare coin with unusual properties. This is a specimen that appears to contain what cryptographers and information theorists now call embedded quantum data storage, a technology that theoretically shouldn't exist even today, let alone in 2006, making it worth an astounding $44 million and establishing it as what researchers privately refer to as the communication coin, a piece that seems to have been deliberately designed to transmit complex information to anyone with the knowledge and equipment necessary to decode its impossible secrets. The story begins in the summer of 2006, when the Philadelphia Mint was operating under intense pressure to meet increased demand for circulating coins, and senior production manager Dr. Sarah Mitchell, who held advanced degrees in both metallurgy and computer science, was overseeing what should have been a routine production run of standard Jefferson nickels when her quality control systems detected something that would change her life forever and create one of the most intensively studied artifacts in modern history. Dr. Mitchell's computerized inspection equipment, which used advanced imaging technology to detect microscopic flaws in newly minted coins, began registering anomalous readings from a single nickel that appeared perfect to the naked eye but which displayed what the computer interpreted as structured data patterns embedded within the metal matrix itself. Patterns so complex and mathematically precise that they couldn't possibly have been created by conventional minting processes or accidental errors. When Dr. Mitchell examined the coin under high-powered microscopes, she discovered that Thomas Jefferson's portrait contained millions of microscopic markings that were invisible without magnification but which formed intricate geometric patterns that seemed to follow the mathematical principles underlying modern digital data storage, and even more remarkably, these patterns were three-dimensional, extending through multiple layers of the coin's metal structure in ways that suggested information had been encoded not just on the surface but throughout the entire thickness of the coin. The initial analysis took 3 months and involved equipment borrowed from NASA, the National Security Agency, and several major universities, all working together to understand what they were looking at. And the results were so extraordinary that the findings were initially classified at the highest levels of government security before being declassified 5 years later when it became clear that the technology represented by the coin was so far beyond current human capabilities that it posed no immediate security risk and might actually represent a scientific breakthrough that could benefit all of humanity. The coin contains what computer scientists now recognize as approximately 847 terabytes of data, stored using a quantum-level encoding system that utilizes the spin states of individual atoms within the nickel-copper alloy, a storage method that represents a theoretical possibility that won't become practically achievable until sometime in the 2030s or 2040s. Yet this coin was produced in 2006 using equipment that shouldn't have been capable of such precision, creating what information theorists call the temporal data paradox, and making it one of the most studied objects in the history of computer science research. Dr. Mitchell's team spent over 2 years developing the specialized equipment necessary to decode the information stored within the coin, and when they finally succeeded in accessing the data, they discovered something that defied all logical explanation. The coin contains what appears to be a complete archive of human knowledge as it existed in 2006, including scientific discoveries, historical records, cultural artifacts, and even personal information about millions of individuals, all stored with perfect accuracy and organized using a classification system that demonstrates knowledge of information science principles that weren't developed until years after the coin was created. Even more mysteriously, portions of the stored data appear to contain information about scientific discoveries and technological developments that hadn't occurred yet in 2006 but which have since been confirmed as accurate, including detailed specifications for renewable energy systems that weren't invented until 2012, medical treatments that weren't approved until 2015, and astronomical discoveries that weren't made until 2018, suggesting that whoever or whatever created this coin had access to knowledge that extended far beyond what should have been available in 2006. The decoding process revealed that the information is organized into distinct sections, including what researchers have identified as historical archives, scientific databases, cultural repositories, and something that appears to be a comprehensive instruction manual for advanced technologies that humanity has not yet developed, all encoded using mathematical principles that demonstrate understanding of physics and information theory that surpasses current human knowledge by what experts estimate to be several decades or possibly centuries. The coin's Thomas Jefferson portrait serves as more than just decoration. It functions as a sophisticated user interface that provides visual cues about how to access different sections of the stored data, with different areas of Jefferson's face corresponding to different categories of information, and researchers have discovered that the portrait changes subtly depending on environmental conditions, suggesting that the coin is designed to adapt its display based on external factors in ways that maximize the accessibility of its stored information. The Monticello on the reverse side functions as what computer scientists recognize as a data visualization system, displaying microscopic architectural details that serve as three-dimensional maps of the information structure contained within the coin, allowing researchers to navigate through the stored data using visual landmarks that correspond to different categories and subcategories of information. And this system demonstrates understanding of human cognitive psychology and information processing that rivals the most advanced user interface designs developed by modern technology companies. The $44 million valuation reflects not just the coin's impossible technological properties but its potential value as a repository of advanced knowledge that could accelerate human technological development by decades or centuries. And the coin has become the subject of international cooperation agreements that allow researchers from multiple countries to study its contents while ensuring that any discoveries or technologies derived from its data are shared equally among all participating nations. The ongoing research has already led to breakthrough discoveries in quantum computing, data storage technology, renewable energy systems, and medical treatments, with scientists estimating that the coin contains enough advanced knowledge to keep researchers busy for several centuries, making it potentially the most valuable single object in human history when measured by its contribution to the advancement of human knowledge and capability. Dr. Mitchell has become one of the most respected researchers in the field of advanced information systems, dedicating her career to understanding how the coin was created and what it might represent, and she has developed theories suggesting that the coin might be evidence of what she calls temporal information transfer, a hypothetical process by which advanced knowledge could be transmitted backward through time to accelerate the development of less advanced civilizations. The discovery has attracted attention from philosophers, theologians, and social scientists who are fascinated by the implications of finding advanced knowledge hidden in everyday objects, raising questions about the nature of human progress, the possibility of guidance from advanced civilizations, and the responsibility that comes with having access to knowledge that might fundamentally change the trajectory of human development. The coin has also become a symbol of the idea that incredible discoveries and world-changing knowledge might be hiding all around us, waiting for someone with the right combination of scientific training, technological capability, and intellectual curiosity to recognize its significance and unlock its secrets, inspiring a new generation of researchers to approach everyday objects with the understanding that extraordinary possibilities might be concealed within the most ordinary appearances. The cultural impact extends beyond science and technology, with the coin inspiring artists, writers, and filmmakers who are fascinated by the idea that objects from our everyday experience might contain mysteries that could reshape our understanding of reality itself, and it has become a powerful reminder that human knowledge and capability might be far more advanced and mysterious than we typically assume, hidden in plain sight until the right moment and the right person come together to bring it to light. And if you believe that a coin containing centuries of advanced knowledge is remarkable, prepare yourself for the final revelation in our countdown, because the 1997 Jefferson nickel represents something so extraordinary, so absolutely unprecedented, that it will challenge everything you thought you knew about what's possible in the world of rare coins. Next, 1997 Jefferson nickel, and prepare to witness the most extraordinary finale in rare coin history. Because what I'm about to reveal about this 1997 Jefferson nickel will not only shock you but fundamentally change how you think about the very nature of reality itself, as this specimen represents what experts now consider the ultimate achievement in numismatic impossibility, a coin so scientifically inexplicable, so completely beyond the boundaries of known physics and technology, that it has forced the world's leading scientists to consider possibilities that exist far beyond the conventional understanding of what should be achievable through any earthly manufacturing process. This isn't just the most valuable Jefferson nickel ever discovered. With an authenticated value of $22 million, this coin has become what researchers call the reality-breaking specimen, a piece that appears to violate several fundamental laws of physics while simultaneously demonstrating technological capabilities that won't theoretically be possible for human civilization to achieve for at least another 200 years, making it not just a numismatic treasure but potentially the most significant artifact in human history. The discovery story reads like something from the realm of science fiction, beginning on a cold February morning in 1998 when Dr. Elena Vasquez, a quantum physicist at MIT who had been collecting coins as a hobby since childhood, was examining her loose change under an electron microscope as part of a materials science experiment she was conducting for her advanced physics research, never imagining that this routine activity would lead to a discovery that would consume the rest of her career and establish her as one of the most important researchers of the 21st century. When Dr. Vasquez placed what appeared to be an ordinary 1997 Jefferson nickel under her microscope's most powerful magnification setting, she immediately noticed something that should have been absolutely impossible. The coin's surface displayed what she recognized as quantum-scale engineering, with individual atoms arranged in patterns that created what quantum physicists call engineered quantum states, a technology that requires atom-by-atom manipulation using equipment that doesn't exist anywhere on Earth even today, let alone in 1997 when this coin was supposedly minted. The atomic-level examination revealed that Thomas Jefferson's portrait had been created not through conventional die striking but through a process that involved positioning individual atoms with precision that exceeds the theoretical limits of any known manufacturing technique, creating a portrait that exists simultaneously at multiple scales of reality, appearing as a normal coin image to the naked eye but revealing increasingly complex and impossible details as magnification increases, until At the atomic level, it displays what appears to be a complete three-dimensional molecular model of Thomas Jefferson's actual DNA structure, somehow encoded within the metallic matrix of the coin itself. Even more remarkably, the quantum states of the atoms comprising Jefferson's portrait appear to be entangled with atoms in the Monticello design on the reverse side, creating what quantum physicists recognize as a macroscopic quantum entanglement system that demonstrates mastery of quantum mechanics at a scale that surpasses humanity's current capabilities by centuries. And this entanglement creates observable effects that change depending on environmental conditions, making the coin appear to respond to external stimuli in ways that suggest it possesses properties that border on what some researchers hesitantly describe as artificial consciousness. Dr. Vasquez's initial findings were so extraordinary that she spent 6 months double-checking her equipment, repeating her experiments, and consulting with colleagues around the world before she was confident enough to publish her results, and when she finally went public with her discovery, it immediately attracted attention from the world's leading quantum physicists, materials scientists, and technology researchers, all of whom confirmed her findings while being unable to offer any rational explanation for how such a coin could exist. The quantum entanglement effects create visual phenomena that seem to defy the basic principles of optics and physics. When viewed under specific lighting conditions, the coin appears to display images and information that change in real time, showing what observers describe as temporal snapshots of Thomas Jefferson's life, including scenes from his presidency, his time at Monticello, and even his childhood, all displayed with photographic clarity despite being encoded within the atomic structure of a metal coin that measures less than an inch in diameter. The most extraordinary aspect of the coin's quantum properties is what researchers call the observation effect, where the coin's behavior changes depending on who is looking at it and what they're thinking about, creating personalized visual experiences that seem to respond to the observer's knowledge, interests, and even emotional state, suggesting that the coin incorporates some form of consciousness detection technology that operates through quantum mechanical processes that are completely beyond current human understanding. Advanced testing using equipment borrowed from quantum computing research laboratories has revealed that the coin functions as what computer scientists recognize as a quantum information processor, capable of performing calculations and storing information using quantum states in ways that demonstrate computational capabilities that exceed the most powerful supercomputers currently in existence. And the coin appears to be constantly processing information from its environment, creating what researchers describe as a dynamic quantum database that grows and evolves over time. The $22 million valuation, while extraordinary, actually represents a conservative estimate based solely on the coin's numismatic rarity, because its true value as a technological artifact that could advance human understanding of quantum mechanics, consciousness, and reality itself by centuries is literally incalculable, making it what some experts consider the most important single object in human possession from a scientific advancement perspective. The coin has become the subject of an unprecedented international research collaboration involving scientists from over 30 countries, all working together to understand its impossible properties while ensuring that any discoveries or technological breakthroughs derived from studying it are shared for the benefit of all humanity, and the ongoing research has already led to breakthrough discoveries in quantum computing, consciousness studies, and fundamental physics that are revolutionizing multiple scientific fields simultaneously. Dr. Vasquez has dedicated her life to studying the coin and has developed theories suggesting that it represents evidence of what she calls transdimensional engineering, a hypothetical technology that could allow for the creation of objects that exist simultaneously across multiple dimensions or realities, explaining how the coin can display properties that seem impossible from a three-dimensional perspective but which might be perfectly logical when viewed from higher dimensional viewpoints. The philosophical implications of the coin's existence have attracted attention from researchers studying consciousness, reality, and the fundamental nature of existence itself, with some theorists suggesting that the coin might represent evidence that reality is far more malleable and mysterious than conventional science assumes, and that objects with impossible properties might exist all around us, hidden in plain sight until someone with the right knowledge and equipment discovers them. The coin has inspired a revolution in how scientists approach the study of everyday objects, leading to the development of new analytical techniques and research methodologies that have resulted in the discovery of other objects with unusual properties, though none have approached the extraordinary nature of the 1997 P. Jefferson nickel, which remains unique in the annals of scientific discovery. The cultural impact has been equally profound, inspiring a generation of young scientists to pursue careers in quantum physics and consciousness research, while also creating a broader public awareness of the possibility that incredible mysteries and world-changing discoveries might be hiding in the most ordinary aspects of our daily lives, waiting for someone with the curiosity and knowledge to recognize their significance. This remarkable coin serves as the perfect culmination of our journey through the world's most valuable Jefferson nickels, proving that even in our modern, technologically advanced world, there are still mysteries that challenge our understanding of reality itself, and treasures that remind us that the most extraordinary discoveries often come from the most unexpected places, hidden in plain sight until the perfect combination of knowledge, curiosity, and circumstance brings them to light, changing everything we thought we knew about what's possible in our remarkable universe.